I'm Miriam K, and I'm here to talk to you about domestic abuse. There are many reports about domestic abuse, but not many with a male victim. This might be due to gender stereotypes. The cultural expectation of a man and the idea of masculinity does not go hand in hand with the qualities linked to being a victim, someone weak and inferior. This is one of the many reasons why men do not identify as victims, and the disconnect makes it harder for male victims to be believed when they finally start talking about their abusive relationships. On a positive note, those that do seek out help rarely return to their abusive relationships. Through a social awareness campaign, I'd like to address this issue. I chose to link my campaign to Din Utvei, a national platform to help, inform and share knowledge about violence in close relationships. The focus of the campaign is to inform about the nature of domestic abuse, while encourage men to start talking. The target audience are men between age 20 to 50. They are either married or live with their girlfriend. They come from varied educational background. They may have experienced abuse as a child or in earlier relationships. The research is based on Norwegian conditions, but does not have any specific ethnicity. In short, domestic abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of age, ethnicity, education, or upbringing. For the campaign, the name is inVISIBLE. That is how men experience the abuse. It's hidden and unseen. I hope to change that, and therefore I scratched the I in N, turning invisible visible. For the slogan, I wanted to include the goal for the campaign, to encourage men to start talking about the abuse. They must break the silence. The colors and typography are inspired by the Utvei platform, so that it would stay in brand and be recognizable. The focus for the posters and billboard is to inform. Here I wanted the audience to know that abuse takes different forms, and physical abuse is not the only form of abuse that's real. In fact, mental abuse is more harmful and takes longer to recover from. I chose portraits of men being vulnerable to give emotional power to the message. For all the posters, I also encouraged the audience to contact the platform to seek help and start talking. The billboard states one hard truth. 1 in 10 men are victims of domestic abuse. The statistic is likely even higher, as the domestic abuse against men are very underreported. The scene of a man in grief sitting on his bed adds to the message of how abuse is hidden and occur in situations one should feel safe. For the unique brand touchpoint, I wanted people to get a sense of how it is to experience mental abuse and gaslighting. The goal of the touchpoint is to make the domestic abuse more visible and to start a conversation. Here in Stavanger, we got a beautiful park in the heart of our town, so let's use that to our advantage and create a public installation. The idea is to place real-size male sculptures on park benches, accompanied by a placard. The placard may describe how domestic abuse affects you, or signs to look out for if you're in an abusive relationship. To make the campaign even more visible, I also suggest using bus stops. Many of them got screens that can be animated. The screen starts off as pure white, only showing the campaign logo and a QR that link to Din Utvei. The animation gets triggered as one sits down to wait. A silhouette of a man is revealed, going from white to teal to black. Under the heading, Words Hurt More Than You Think, phrases appear on the screen. Phrases that may seem lovingly or innocent, while others are clearly meant to hurt. Through the campaign, I hope to encourage abuse survivors to start talking about the abuse. Only by changing the cultural attitude, how the society view a victim, and acceptance that men too can be victims of abuse, can men trust that we, as a society, will be there to support them as they break the silence. Thank you for listening.